some bread?
I'll get you a knife.
Thanks. But, thank you very much. But, it's just that I have, a unique family situation, older brother and sister, and...
But just in terms of in your adult life, do you feel that getting whatever freedom you've got now in the last year has been significant? Like, I'm looking for the answer.
Yes.
Yes, I'm in a slightly happier place.
Oh,
you sounded desperate there. It sounded like terrible.
I did when I told you the thing about the not having a safe place.
Yeah, I mean that's what
I don't feel the same way anymore.
Right.
At that point, I really did.
Right.
Now I feel like I'm much closer to the person I was before all this happened.
You're closer to the person you were before.
Yeah. And I'm not taking anything away from what's happened for me, what's happened to me. I know that it's 1 in a million, but I know that I work basically every hour that I'm awake. I'm working, I'm doing something.
And you're pretty much awake every hour.
Right. So they have it. But now I'm trying to have fun too. I'm trying to like go out to dinner with girlfriends and do stuff and go to clubs and like do whatever. And I barely go to clubs. They make it like I'm like, whoa, club party girl.
What clubs do you like in town? I won't necessarily print which names, but what kind of things do you?
I go to like if somebody I know is having a party at a club.
Right.
Then I'll go. I don't just go to a club for laughs.
Right.
Because it's I can't be in a smoky environment anyway.
Right.
I mean, a lot of times, maybe Puppy or somebody will throw a party. He throws a lot of parties. That's the only reason I'm saying.
Right.
And my friends and I will go. Or if somebody we know is performing, like the Buster Rhymes or someone's performing, like at the Palladium or something, we will go.
Right.
But.
Well, what's a typical night like tonight, Friday night? Girlfriends.
Is it Friday? I didn't even know that.
Is it Friday? Yeah, I think it is Friday. Yeah, it is.
Well, I'm waiting for my 2 friends to get done from getting their hair done.
Are they from the island?
No, they're from Brooklyn. Well, one's from Brooklyn, one's from New Jersey. They're at a salon getting their hair done right now. And then we're going to go to our favorite restaurant, and then we'll take it from there. But,
You're living the hotel life right now, are you?
No, I have a place.
Oh, right.
I have a townhouse.
You rented a place?
Yeah. And it was furnished, and it's beautiful, and it's... The fact that it was furnished is shocking, because usually places that are furnished would have, like, something like this.
Right.
There. But, it's really well done. Is this irking you? Are you going to write me?
Florida doing a vocal, like a guest show or something?
A vocal guest show?
No, like on somebody said you flew up from Florida, and I was like, what?
Oh. Well, actually...
Or if it's private, you don't have to say.
No. See, I went to Disneyland, or Disney World, whatever the one down there is called. There's a difference, because, Jermaine Dupri?
Yeah.
He's a good friend of mine. He's doing an album right now, and he asked me to do a guest vocal thing on his album.
Right.
So, of course, he took 2 days to get me the freaking track, and I'm like, Jermaine, I only have this time period to do it. And he finally got me the track, and it was really, really late. So I ended up the trip was kind of foiled, but I was visiting a friend, so.
Oh, okay, right. Okay. Holston. Okay. During your tour. Well, tell me about, one of the things you said on Stern was that he was like, oh, look at the dress and the thing, and you're like, well, listen, when I first started, I was wearing a, whatever, let me have some fun.
Right.
So tell me about the fashion kind of aspect of your life.
I'm just trying to expand my, I don't know if horizon is the right word, but just in the beginning and in the middle, everybody was very, very concerned about the way my public image, what I wore, even down to like if my hair was curly or straight or whatever. You know, I mean, gradually it became less of an issue, gradually. But in the beginning it was like, no, you gotta stay the same. You know, and it's like, I think that a lot of times people that work at record companies don't give the public enough credit.
Right.
The public, you know, handle it. They like it, especially now.
Right.
You know, I mean.
What do you think they couldn't? They thought you couldn't handle. Oh, sorry. What do you think? Just trying to get this like.
Okay, you want me to hold it?
No. Let's go. That's good.
Okay.
What do you think that people around you thought the public couldn't handle? Like, they'd be shocked that you weren't had a good girl image or something?
See, you know what the funny thing is? In a lot of ways, I am a little goody two-shoes girl. I mean, actually I have quite a few dichotomies in me. The problem is, let's say when I was like in junior high, I was like the tough girl that used to smoke cigarettes in the bathroom and slam girls into the lockers.
You did?
I was bad, but I was fake bad. Like, because I had this example of another person who was, I can't say who it is, but who did so many...
Well, you can't. She'll never read an English magazine.
Well, you never know. And did so many things that I really didn't want to do. I really didn't want to end up in that, going down that route.
Right.
So I consciously was very protective of myself, you know, and I was, in one way, people were, you know, like, thought I was this, like, tough chick who was probably wild or whatever, but I really wasn't.
Right.
You know, so, and now people thought that I was goody two-shoes girl, but, you know, I mean, in some ways I'm very inexperienced in a lot of ways, but I'm not the girl who wants to be on stage in a freaking sequin gown singing Hero every night. I mean, you know what? When I sing Hero live, I love it because people really, who are my true fans, feel that song. And when I do it live, it's a totally different experience.
Right.
You know, but I don't want to be old before my time.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
so you think that some people might have preferred it if you made the Streisand move and like went into that whole world of, you know.
No, because Streisand was doing movies.
Right.
Streisand actually, when she was doing those records, I think she was probably pretty kind of current when she was doing records with like the Gibbs and stuff like that, and Donna Summer, what she was doing.
Right.
I mean, that was pretty cool for her for those years.
Right.
Don't you think?
Although there was all the like before that, the Color Me Barbara kind of era where she was doing like show tunes and stuff.
See, I don't even know that part.
She's on your label, you can get them for free. But well, tell me about your acting move, because I can't remember the name of it. Is it Glitter
tentatively titled All the Glitters.
All the Glitters.
There's a movie called Sparkle,
right.
but that's a different thing.
Okay.
It's a great movie, actually.
All the Glitters. What is Sparkle about?
The original Sparkle?
Yeah. What did I think of that?
It's well, because it's somewhat similar, because it was made in the 70s, I guess, by Joel Schumacher.
Oh, yeah.
And it's about three sisters.
Oh.
And one of them gets addicted to drugs, and it's a whole thing. Irene Cara was in it.
Oh, that's it, yeah. Yeah. I'm thinking Irene Cara, Fame, and your girl, what's her name? Debbie.
Allen?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
By the way, have you ever seen a film called Smile?
Who's in it?
Like a beauty contest, 1975, a small town thing. It's amazing.
Really?
Just for anyway, you're saying All the Glitters. Is it the 70s or 80s?
Right now we're sort of vacillating between, I mean, I think it should stay 70s because that's where it was originally conceived. Cheryl West is writing it. She wrote a play called Holiday Heart, which was off Broadway. It's a really great play about a drag queen who ends up caring for this crack addict's mother and this amazing young girl. And it's a really beautiful, I mean, when I read it, it was incredible and really moving and great story. But she's writing this, and it's about a biracial family, and they're a group, and what they go through in the 70s with the, all the stuff that was going on, and like the payola and this and that, and they're sort of.
Oh, they're a music group.
Yeah, they're
right.
a family of musical people. They become a group, and all this other stuff happens. I don't want to give it away before it's time.
Who would you compare them to in the real world?
Nobody. Bye, man. Bye. Good to see you.
I'll call you.
All right, definitely call me. Okay. I don't know who I would compare them to.
Obviously, What are the families?
For those days, what their music would be like a Jackson 5 type thing.
Right.
But I think that probably the others, I wouldn't really want to make that comparison because it's a totally different thing.
Right.
But I mean, I think that they were trying to pattern themselves after that type of a group musically.
Right. Got you.
But they're mixed, and it's interesting because the mother, was on drugs, and it's grittier than I think people are expecting me to do.
How did the project come together? Like, what came first?
It was an idea that I had.
That you had. And how did you hear about the play Holiday Heart?
Through Jane Rosenthal from Tribeca Films. And she introduced me to Cheryl. And
whose idea? What even came before that? You were talking to Jane Rosenthal about maybe finding a way in, or?
I had an idea, and I was put in touch with Jane.
Oh, right.
So the idea came first.
Right.
And it's evolved quite a bit. She's writing the second draft right now. But I hear the soundtrack in my head, and I mean, there's so much music that's influenced by the 70s right now. I mean, so many artists that are so big, that are so influenced by like this. I'm not even talking disco. I'm talking like the soul music of the 70s, Marvin Gaye, Minnie Riperton, and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Vibey kind of things. It's open to a lot of different possibilities, which is why I like it.
Right. Well, I keep asking about Halston and then changing tack, but
Randolph Duke.
Right.
Is fabulous. He was very helpful to me on this tour. He, met with me, and we went over a bunch of different things, and kind of adapted some of the ensembles that were already in the collection, and made some of these. They were really great, really accommodating. And I'm going to do the States this year, probably in like 2 months. So I'm going to go back and address some things, do a couple of different numbers.
Go back and what, sorry?
Do a few little other ensembles.
Oh, right.
It's fun.
Well, it seems like stylistically, you seem like a bit of a kid in a candy store in the last year or so. It's just like, one look after the other. It just seems like really excited.
Right.
Were a lot of the fashion possibilities cut off to you before?
Yeah.
Okay, that's the shortest answer of the day. Okay. Moving right along.
Yep.
Well, tell me, Diane Martel. What's the song? Oh, I tell you, it's that French group Air. Have you heard that? Oh. It's good. Like mostly instrumental, but they have an American girl on some of the tracks. It's really good.
Really?
I'm sorry to interrupt.
No.
Myself.
That's good. I'm so, as I said, I always listen to like Hot 97.
Right,
I'm so like urban minded. Like it's so crazy. My friend and I, this girl, one of the girls I'm going to meet, she works in the music industry. She started at Def Jam. She worked at Interscope. She's done like a lot of stuff. She was instrumental in signing Wu-Tang and stuff like that. So we'll be sitting, this is how sickly music industry minded we are. We'll be sitting there, and what do? We both do this stuff all the time. I was actually at a game, like a baseball game, and someone had a shirt on, like the usher. Like I've never been to professional sports, games in my life. So then Usher walks by on a shirt, said Usher. So I'm like, oh, Usher has a concert shirt? I'm like, what's that? We'll walk by stuff and he'll say like, I don't know, something like Wilshire or something like, and we'll be like, what, Will Smith? What?
So it's always on your mind?
It's always like, we're like thinking in music business mode, and we laugh because the two of us do that all the time.
It's a very competitive business. Do you start finding yourself getting competitive, like
with other artists?
Yeah.
The artists that I've become friends with, I'm not competitive with at all.
But you find yourself looking at people and saying they did this or they got that, or like, because something must keep driving you on to like come up with new ideas, try to one up.
Well, you know what? Especially with this album, Butterfly, I feel like what I did was incorporate where I was going with the remixes onto the regular album. I don't think I made a drastic change.
Right.
I think people who who say I made a drastic change are saying that for a reason. Maybe to deter, I don't know, the ones who want me to sing Only Hero from buying the album, but there are ballads on the album that are in that vein. I just tried to taper the amount of production that went onto them. I tried to tone it down a little bit.
Right.
You know, but keeping the songs accessible. I mean, I'm not stupid. I'm not going to totally alienate half my audience, you know. I mean, I have the ballads on there. I have the new single, My All, which is the video debuted yesterday. Herbert's directed it. It was great working with him. He's so talented. And that was another thing. I never really was able to work with directors like Herb, who I really wanted to work with, you know, to take me to the next level.
You know, this is all getting towards one big question.
Why?
Well, yeah, you know.
Life can be funny that way.
Oh, there's many a tale that could be told.
Oh, sure are. Sure are.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Well, so tell me about Diane Martel. Did she start out, was she a choreographer or stylist? Which one?
Choreographer.
But you seem to have developed a kind of a...
We became friends. She's one of my really good friends.
So could I call her for this and like get some background?
Sure. Yep.
And what do you get from her? Because the sense that I got from her on the video for, you know, it was Fantasy with the boys and the hill figure and the
Fantasy was actually, I did that by myself.
That was in the field, right?
Dream Lover was
Dream
in the
Lover,
field.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Because does she have that kind of thing going on as well?
Yes, she directs mostly rap videos. She just did The Lox' new video. She did Method Man and Mary, All I Need to Get By. Ice Cream, Redman, Method Man.
Well, what did you get out of her in terms of a creative connection?
Well, Diane was very unique.
Is she important to your...
She's very important to me as a friend, and I like working with her as a... We can sit there and pool ideas, and what happened with the Breakdown video, I don't think that's going to be released in Europe, I don't know. The one with Bone Thugs?
Oh yeah, which is an amazing video.
Thank you.
Come on, you know.
But you know what, that video shoot was canceled.
Willkommen, bienvenue to Cabaret, you know.
We tried, but you know what, that Cabaret shot was done at 7 in the morning, it was one take. We had one take of the close-up, one take of the little chair thing. We just made it up as one long. We put that video together in 4 days. Because the label decided at the last minute they wanted me to do a different song, or didn't confirm the director that I wanted. I wanted to use this other new French director that was up and coming, blah blah blah. I don't recall his name. I can get it, but and suddenly he wasn't booked.
Right.
And I had no video.
Right.
So I was like, you know what? This record is getting a lot of airplay. I'm going to do the video. I don't care. So Diane and I got together. You know, we put it together. We pooled ideas at the last minute, and don't think that getting Bone Thugs is easy. Like, they're all over the place. To get them in one room, this guy Steve Lobel, he handles basically all their stuff. He was really helpful, but we did it at the last minute, and I feel really proud of it, because to get that done without without 2 weeks, you know, preparation, like a normal video, was a big deal. So Diane is like a great spur of the moment collaborator, and she also really understands hip hop and like she's used to working with like some people who haven't ever worked with a quote unquote rap group, whatever, like Bone Thugs, might not understand necessarily that there's certain things that image-wise won't work.
Right.
You know. And
what do you mean, things they won't do, or they just won't play?
Well, like things that wouldn't be appropriate. You know what I mean? And she's just done so many, even from Onyx, she did the Slam video. She's done like so many videos that she's worked with Redman numerous times. He's in the video too. That's Redman. He's the magician.
Oh, okay.
Lifting me up. And she just gets it. Like, and I know that she'll take care if I'm doing something with like I knew she'd take care of Bone Thugs. I knew she'd really be able to, you know, deal with them and cater to them, and because I had to be in hair and makeup half the time, you know what I mean? We changed the look so many times.
Right.
We only had a 2-day shoot, and then they got on the Concord with that gold eye makeup on and the 3 pairs of freaking lashes.
Well, does she have a common language with you when you when you're talking about video ideas and, you know, wouldn't it be good if we did this and that, do you guys have the same, have you watched the same films and heard the same tunes and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say the Roof. We did that video together.
Did you enjoy like all that like Jordan
80s
whatever?
retro? Yes, I totally did. That was so much fun, and that was my idea, and I talked about it because that was just going to be like a.
Was that like a homage to old hip hop clubs and stuff? Was there one called The Roof?
There was a place where everyone used to go up onto the roof.
All right.
Of certain clubs, like at the end of the night, they would go up to the roof and everybody would party up on the roof.
Do you remember which
whatever.
club?
There's one club in particular that this happened all the time. I wasn't a party to that.
Oh, right.
But I know about it. It's like an infamous thing. But I don't know if people did that at the Roxy. There's one club that everybody went to, like way back in the days, and everybody always ended up on the roof at the end of the night.
Would Diane know?
I know, my friend Tracy would know that.
All right, okay, we'll find out.
But that's not even where that came from. The roof was inspired by a whole other incident. But I decided to make it into an 80s thing so I could do the little Farrah hairdo and the Sergio's and
Sergio Valenti?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Was that what all right, of course, yeah.
That's why I'm like looking in the mirror. Everybody's like, she's just looking at her ass in the mirror. No, that's how people used to put those jeans on, like looking, you know?
Oh, right. And I like the little bomber jacket with the piping and the whole...
Thank you. But that was fun.
Well, something I was going to ask you that we forgot about.
Did you get back to Scotland much?
Yeah, actually I've been back to Britain about 5 times in the last 4 months.
Really?
Just with weird jobs. That French group that came on air, I had to go and write about them, things like that.
How was that?
Oh, great, they're fantastic guys. You should really get an album for your 4 a.m. kind of chill out moment.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
It's, you know, when you don't want any more Hot 97.
Yeah. Exactly. No, I mean, I put on gospel. I listen to gospel music too.
Well, when you, what did you think of the Vanity Fair piece? We talked about that at least. That was a weird one, to say the least.
Yeah.
Were you upset or amused or ignored?
I wasn't amused.
You were not amused.
That was a difficult thing.
Right. What did it cause problems in your life? Repercussions, whatever?
I think it had an effect on my life. I don't know if it... I mean, see, this is the thing about me. I'm a very forgiving person. And so even if somebody's done something to me and I see them being hurt, I don't revel in that. I don't, you know, I mean, some people, you know, it's like, you've done this to me, now I hate you forever, blah, blah. I don't like to see anybody in pain or being hurt or whatever. And then when someone's being attacked about their vulnerable areas, I really relate to that because I don't appreciate that. You know what I mean? When it happens to me. So, you know, that was also kind of like a turning point in my life in a lot of ways around that time.
Okay.
It's really hard for me to be very specific.
No, I understand. That's why I'm not just like...
And I don't know what this piece is like. What's the flavor? What's the vibe of this piece?
Well, the vibe is explaining how Mariah Carey became hipper than she was when she first came on the scene, you know, or like how you got from B to A or whatever it is.
It was a process of me really having to fight it out in terms of the music that I wanted to do. And when I was making Butterfly, I was at a different place. I was making my own decisions. I was saying, I want to do a track like this. You know, CJ, what do you think? We do Bone Thugs. I love the Bone and Biggie record. He did that record, you know. And I say, let's do something like this, but like a happier version. Let's do something, you know, and try to get Bone Thugs to do it. So we did it, you know what I mean? It was like, I want to do a cover of The Beautiful Ones with Drew Hill, you know, let's try and do that, you know. I would love to write with Missy, Missy Elliott. And that's because I've been a fan of her since that MC Light record that she was singing on, whatever, Cold Rock a Party. Like, I just listen, and then the Aaliyah stuff she did, and the Genuine stuff prior to her album.
Right,
so
right.
I was like making my own moves and decisions as opposed to like a big group effort decision about like what kinds of ballads and what kinds of things. And I still did the ballads. That's what I don't want people to forget, because it's not like I'm negating all that stuff. It's not like I'm looking down at what I've done in the past. But my main thing is I feel freer as an individual. Like, I don't think in the past I'd be able to sit here and talk to you like this and really be myself.
Right.
Because people were very, very afraid of that.
Right. Well, it's funny. Do you think the music business, talking about you're making the decision yourself, you're going, I like Missy when she was a writer and whatever, before she was a solo star.
I still like her, but I'm saying that was my...
Right, your introduction.
Mm-hmm.
But that's where you're coming from. You're not thinking who's hot, right?
No, because they weren't even choosing me out as an artist.
But do you think the business in general is prone to doing that? Like, who's right,
Jumping on the bandwagon?
Yeah.
Well, I think if you don't write, then that's what you have to rely on. You have to rely on producers who are hot to give you those songs. I think if I had done an album where I worked with Puffy, Missy, I'm trying to think who the other co-producers, because everybody else is more co-collaborator. Let's say I did an album with Puffy, Missy, Walter A, whoever, and didn't write or contribute to the creative process, then I would be jumping on a bandwagon, or I would be...
I'm not saying you are, because obviously you know your shit.
Right.
I'm saying, people in, I just think the music business maybe has that kind of, as you say, it wasn't by committee. That's what made me think of that.
Right.
Everything seems like very nervous. Like, is this going to play with this demographic?
Yeah, I think that it's a very producer-driven business. Like, I mean, today it really just matters, like, if it's a hot record. They don't have to be so concerned with, is this a name producer who's hot right now? Like, there are producers who aren't necessarily at the top of the pop charts, but who can give me a track that will inspire me to write a song that could end up there. Like, Q-Tip was the inspiration, behind, he came up with the body rock loop that from Honey.
Right.
Which, Puffy and I were sitting there trying to come up with an idea for a loop, and we didn't, like, they played me all these records, I just wasn't feeling anything 100% as a first single. And Q-Tip came up with the body rock idea, and he played it for me over the phone.
Now, are we talking body rock by that female singer from back?
No. It goes, it's the dun, 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 the main loop of Honey.
Right.
Not
Who was the original?
It's Treacherous 3.
Oh, right. I'm thinking of something different.
Yeah, it's just it was used to go rock the body, rock the body. It was like a rap record, an early rap record, and I had forgotten all about it. So had everybody else, because it's like a party record kind of feel.
What year were you born? 71?
70,
right.
So
you were like, when hip hop came out, you were like 9 years old.
Yeah, getting into
like,
all of that.
Loving it.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I mean, it's not like I knew every record at that point. It took me to be like in 7th grade to really start,
being hardcore.
Not that I was hardcore, I was just a radio addict.
Right.
Like, no matter what it was. Rick James, Evelyn Champagne King,
Love Come Down,
Love Come Down, all those records were big, huge records when I was like in junior high.
You know her record Shame from...
Yeah, the old Evelyn Champagne King record. Shame, Love Come Down, I'm in Love. Who else had, like, all those records back then that were really just like, hot on the radio.
Right. Well, see, when you were in Long Island, you were telling me about your mother's friend who was telling you, I could have been this, I could have been that. If we were doing the TV movie of your story, that would be a scene.
Well, you know what?
Because
we couldn't even, the TV movie, we'd need a miniseries. Because nobody would believe it. It's so diverse. I have so many characters, and my cast of characters is ridiculous. Okay, good.
Smooth.
Good.
Whenever you want to call it, just give me the...
What time is it?
It's 8:05.
Oh, I already missed my luau, didn't I?
Missed your what?
My thing is on MTV tonight. Luau thing.
Let me just tape it.
Yeah, I think they have it ring. Let me just call my friend Tracy and see what she's doing. You know, I said my grandmother was from down south, and she would just, you know, she's just a whole nother character. That's when sometimes I break into that talk. That's how she be talking.
Right.
Are you done? No, you can leave it. Yeah? It's okay. Yeah, thanks. So it's like I had that influence too. My grandmother from Brooklyn, well, from Alabama actually, who moved to Brooklyn,
right,
and who, you know, my father kind of raised himself. My grandmother had an 8th grade education only, you know, and then she at like 70 something got her high school diploma. My father kind of raised himself out of the ghetto basically and became an aeronautical engineer. You know, so it's like, that's why I said we can't do the miniseries. It would have to be a miniseries.
Oh my God.
There's too much going on.
And was your dad, was that an inspiration to you? I mean, not to be corny about it, but to raise yourself up. I mean, which part of Brooklyn were they from?
He actually lived in Harlem when he was little. I just knew her when she lived in Brooklyn. By the time she made herself some money as a seamstress.
Oh, right.
She and my great aunt, who was a minister, who had a church up there.
Oh, right.
And
up in Harlem?
Mm-hmm.
So your dad and his mom were like super hard-working citizens. Do you think that has got to you? The work.
See, I didn't really grow up with my father, and I only saw my grandmother on rare occasions. But probably it rubbed off on me. I mean, my father is so opposite of who I am because he's so technical, mathematical kind of person, that sort of mindset. And I'm the complete opposite.
You're more of a dreamer?
Put it this way, I was in like creative writing classes with the honor students of my school who were like, what the hell is she doing in here? And then I'd be in remedial math classes with the kids who were like, you know, suspended every other day. So, I mean, it was kind of, it's like, what's going on? And also I knew I didn't put that much emphasis on studying or anything else because I really was singing and writing from like 13.
Oh, you were?
Yeah.
And working with
musicians, older musicians, stuff
so you
like
kind of
that.
knew that that's what you wanted to pursue?
I always knew.
Right.
Since I was 4. I've known it.
So is your evening taking shape, by the way?
I'm going to meet my 2 friends in Queens.
And their salon?
They're getting their hair done. They're going to be there, yes, but I'm going to bring the food from our Chinese restaurant out there.
Superb.
So.
And then what about?
We're going to go to Brooklyn.
What's in Brooklyn?
Brooklyn is one of the girls. Her name is Rhonda.
Right.
She has my dogs. I bought these dogs in Japan.
All right.
And their name, you know, I'm into the Jerky Boys. So there's this one scene in the Jerky, well, one little skit where the guy's like, "Bing bong, goodbye, sir," and he hangs up on the guy, right? So I bought these 2 dogs. And
called them Bing and Bong.
Bing and Bong. And they're so cute. They're Shih Tzus. And I was really lonely in Japan, so I got these 2 dogs. I'm an animal freak. I love animals. So I got these 2 dogs, and I was really attached to them. But then I had to go to Australia, and there's a, you know, what do you call it when there's a period of time?
Quarantine.
That's right. And I couldn't wait 2 months, you know. So my manager, Sandy Gallen, took them to LA. And he didn't get along with his dogs, and Rhonda and Tracy were out there, the 2 girls I'm going to meet. And Rhonda has a daughter who wanted a dog.
Oh.
She actually used to have Rosie Perez's dog, but now she doesn't have it anymore.
It's so confusing.
So she took Bing and Bong. So I'm going to Brooklyn to see Bing and Bong.
Which part of Brooklyn does she live in?
Live in... Which street does she live on?
Or which part? Like...
She lives in a nice area.
Fort Greene or Brooklyn Heights or something?
Not Brooklyn Heights. I don't know. I have no sense of direction. I barely know what street I live on. All I know is I'm going to Farmers Boulevard in Queens right now.
Farmers Boulevard. Isn't that mentioned in like a Tribe Called Quest song?
It's mentioned in a lot of songs.
Oh, LL actually, when he goes Farmers.
He goes Farmers Boulevard. He always does.
So you seem to be very guarded. Anytime baseball comes up, you're like...
I'm not guarded at baseball. I'm just not a sports...
No, but I mean...
Not knowledgeable about sports.
No, I mean your thing that everybody asks you about Derek J. Is that
I'm not getting married like they wrote in the paper today.
All right. But is that ready for public knowledge yet? Or are you still being
Let's just put it this way, I'm in spring training.
Oh!